Welcome to Earth Science, everybody. It's time for the timeline lab, where we're going to take this piece of cash register tape right here. You see how long it is, going all the way down my counter. We're going to take that to represent the history of the planet time-wise, just like a timeline you have in history class. Now, I think I'll fill some of this stuff out when we get over to the computer version. It's going to be harder to do with this camera in my hand. But the premise is that we're going to use ticker tape to represent Earth's history with a scale, and this is the important part. Every millimeter is 1,000,000 years of Earth's history. All right, so normally we got to figure all this stuff out. You're getting out of that this year. We got to do a very light amount of conversions here, no big deal. Pick some colors, and then you would end up with this as a result. With the idea being that way down here, by this end where these stones are, and that should be a straight cut, but whatever. This would be about when the Earth formed. Okay? And then we go down, down, down. Now think of how much of this you have to color. People always, they say pick 4 colors and they see how much of this they have to color in one color. I did brown. This is a lot of time. A lot of time. A lot of time. My son got a hold of it right there when I was doing this last night. A lot of time until we get to where these other 3 colors are. So again, look how far down that goes. All of that is what we call the Pre-Cambrian. I'll try to write that here with the other hand. There's the symbol I use for Cambrian. It's like a C with a slash through it like that. Pre-Cambrian is all of that stuff. So the Earth formed there, and in that time there were some very primitive forms of life, but we didn't really get what would turn into modern life until all the way down to this point. Now look how it's left. That's it. And there's a lot to account for here. In this pink section, the Paleozoic, that'd be when, actually that's when most of the sedimentary bedrock of upstate New York formed. If you've ever seen fossils that look like these around, and we can look at some others. Also, these guys down here, they might be common around here. Those are Paleozoic fossils, kind of your ancient life, your primitive life fossils living there in that pink section. Move on to green, you get to the Mesozoic. We don't have very good Mesozoic rock here in New York. There's one tiny little spot where they found a little bit of this critter, Coelophysis, but not a ton of that in New York. But nonetheless, this would be the whole Mesozoic. This is the age of the dinosaurs. And I know one student brought this up once. More time passed from the early dinosaurs to the late dinosaurs than has passed from the late dinosaurs to today. Think, if I asked you at the beginning, which I should have, hey, on this timeline, when did the dinosaurs go extinct? I've done this sometimes. People never put it right here. People put it way back here. That's it. The dinosaurs went extinct at that line. And then this would be the Cenozoic, kind of what we call the age of mammals, which isn't a perfect name, but nonetheless, when we got things like, where's our mastodont? That guy. Okay. Ice ages, there's been a whole bunch of them throughout time, but the ones that we've mentioned that have affected the landscape out my window right there, we're talking less than the thickness of my pencil right here. All of human history really is like the last millimeter. When you think of what makes a successful species, you might say, oh, humans are successful. Look at this. We got printers, we got books, we got board games, we've done all this stuff. Well, what is success? I mean, we've only been here for this tiny, 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 tiny little chunk of Earth's history. Dinosaurs maybe were pretty successful. Yes, it ended dramatically. It didn't go well. But would a long life history be a sign of success more than technologies? I don't know. Your call. So what we're going to do in this lab, I'll switch over to the computer version, and we'll just think about some of these ideas. Think about the length of Earth's history, how long we've been here, and some other stuff like that. We'll do a sneak preview of one question. Which pie graph represents the percentage of the total time of the 4 major divisions of geological time? And this is a common one. The Regents likes this, and the idea is always going to be that Pre-Cambrian, I think it comes out to about 88% of the whole entire Earth's history was that, whereas our modern advanced life as we know it, 3 eras were much, much, much more brief. Okay, so let that sink in. This is one of the labs that I did, and I wish you guys could do it. This is usually one people enjoy. This is one of the labs I did when I was in earth science that really put some perspective into it, allowing me to see just how old this planet is and just how young we are. All right, thanks a lot, everybody. Sourman says, welcome to Earth Science. We'll see you soon.